All right. Good evening, everybody. Commissioner Ace Coach 704 PEL Primetime Elite League. This is the post-draft show where we analyze all the picks that were made, and I give my best estimate on a draft grade because I haven't seen, all the developments come through yet. But we're gonna take a look at everyone. We'll start with me and get me out the way, then we'll get to everybody else because I just posted the draft link in the chat. All right. So for me, Herbig, that guy right there, this right guard will start at left guard. He'll probably get a development upgrade. So will the tight end Caleb Wilson. The third upgrade, I'm not sure who that will go to. Zimenez, I guess that's how you say his name, will be a nickel pass rusher for me. Muse, he'll develop. I like him. He's 6'3" with good, speed and acceleration for that size. Higdon will be on the practice squad. And Johnson, I thought was a good get because he's got 88 kickoff return to pair with Tavon Austin back there. And plus, he'll be my number 5 receiver, which is important this year in my offense. So I'm happy with him in the 7th. But I give myself I'd say a B minus because the top 3 picks are all quick development, and then the rest of these guys will be on the roster, except for Higdon. He'll be on the practice squad, but I still like him overall. Which way should we go? We went reverse for the other thing, so let's go this way. Patriots, Zoom Lincoln, I thought was pretty obvious. He had a pretty good storyline, even though he struggled in the Sugar Bowl. He's still a very, very good player. Bryce Love, I thought at the top of the second was a very good value. As you guys know, this was a very strong draft. I knew these guys would be good. I didn't check the developments on them. But I knew they would be good because they're real players. So this is probably going to be the strongest class we get because year 3 we won't be downloading a class. This was a downloaded class. Next year will be like year 1 where we'll have the storyline players and then it'll be a Madden class behind that. Gary, I thought was very good. Late second round was a good pick right there, a good speed rusher. But then the rest of it kind of fell off a little bit, toward the end, even though the kicker, was good. He's still a kicker. But for those top 3 picks, for the strength of this class, this is probably A minus, I guess. I was thinking B plus, but A minus. Because these 3 guys, I think, are starters. And when you get 3 starters out of a draft class, it's very good. Raiders, didn't have many picks, but I thought he did a good job with the ones that he had. Obviously Brown, I thought was a good pick at number 9 overall. He'll make a lot of plays with that kind of ability. Winovich in the 3rd, that's a guy that'll play, on that team. In the 3rd round is good. Thought he needed more O-line help, but he got this guy Sharping, who's decent. 82 strength. He can work around that. He can develop him into something. But for only 3 picks, that's a B draft for 3 picks. That's not bad. The Rams, Bingo Simmons in the 1st. I thought I made his awareness a little lower than what it came out to be. I think the game might have adjusted that a little bit just to adjust with the overall that he had, because he is a very good player, minus the awareness. He's just dumb as hell, and his storyline said so. So no one's well surprised by that. Babyface Thompson in the 2nd, toward the end of the 2nd, I thought was excellent value, even though he doesn't cover well in man. He's a very good zone corner. And in theory, you could move him to free safety if you wanted to do that because he's got very good physical traits. And then the rest of it, like everyone else, kind of falls off the rest of the way. But I think his first 2 picks will start. And I give that's I guess that's a B draft. Yeah, with the strength of these 2 guys. Ravens, they made their first couple picks, then they bowed out. Zach Allen is a good player. You saw him in real life against Clemson. He was very good in that game, and obviously it shows right there. He's going to be a good D end. The rest of this though is not too impressive. I give him a C plus for that. Redskins, Zach Morris. Very good pass coverage linebacker. I tried to make him look like Zach Morris as much as I could with the face. I don't know how well that came out, but he's going to be a good player. Rufus Jackson, black college quarterback. Tried to model him after Steve McNair a little bit. He's going to be a good player. He had quick development. Casey Johnson. Now, although he looks decent, he was technically a bust as far as storyline goes late in the second round. He was not going to be a really good player, just an average middling guy. That's how he came out in the draft, because of his storyline where he was just focused on the NFL and not really focused on college. And then the rest of it, Taylor, I thought in a late third was pretty good. 87 strength, you can develop him into a starter. And you look at the rest of it, not too impressive the rest of the way. But I think these first 3 out of 4 picks will play. I say it's a solid B draft for the Redskins. Reggie and the Saints, he kind of bowed out toward the end. Stidham is going to be a good quarterback. He needed a quarterback. That's a smart pick. Josh Allen, good player. Once again, late first for that, value is not bad. And then Risner, he could have did a little better early in the second. And then the rest of the way, looks like these guys are just kind of depth. Cager has a little speed, but overall, I'd give this a B minus. The strength of the class, could have got a couple guys probably at these positions a little better, but he did fill needs, so that's a B minus. Seahawks CPU draft, you won't look at it too much. Anthony McMillan, remember, was the young version of the Twins, and I'll just show you because he didn't show his card, obviously. Only normal development. So he's going to be a very good player, obviously, with his stats right there, but I didn't give him the development trait, but you see all the traits that he has. He's going to grow into being a very good player, but him being very young contributed to him only being normal development because we don't know. And that was the thing I was going for in his storyline right there. Alibaba Mecca, storyline player. You see he's got some physical traits about him, but he's only a 74. I did not make him that great because there were some weird things going on in his storyline, and I wanted to put that in there to kind of make you say, well, I don't know, a little skepticism there. That's the reason why. He's a very good speed guy, but he doesn't have everything that you need right now. But the rest of this draft I won't go into too much, but that's CPU draft, so no CPU drafts get, real grades for me. Steelers, I think Jerome checked out a little early. I know he didn't do too much scouting, so I won't be too hard on him, but Michael Jackson, he was a very athletic pick. He can run with some people. He'll develop. I don't know if he's showed his development or not. Let's take a look. Okay, quick. Okay. Emmanuel Hall, he can make some plays. There were better receivers there at 15, but like I said, I know he didn't get a chance to scout too much. And then the rest of this, nothing too special. I think the rest of this was CPU. I'll give him a C. I won't be too hard on that. Levi and the Texans, Nathan Blue, superstar development running back. I didn't make his storyline too difficult. He had a good performance in his bowl game. And usually, if I tell you he has a good performance in the bowl game, he's going to be a pretty good player unless something else comes with that storyline. So, it was a good read on that. Jennings as a power rusher, looks to be a pretty good player at the bottom of the second round. I like that. And then it kind of falls off a little bit. Tried to go with some offensive linemen. Some of those guys are kind of weak. The linebacker, Connolly, he's okay. He said the kicker was a quick development guy. The guy that did this draft was very detailed. I appreciate that. But I give him a solid B for this draft. Titans or CPU auto guy. Did they have any storyline guys? I don't think so. Okay. All right, we'll keep it moving. Vikings. Mullen is a good. Says he's man to man. Take a look at him. Of course, he's quick development. Oh, he's a decent player. Jackson in third looks like a pretty decent value right there. 75 overall power rusher. But he could have did a little bit more here. This is probably a C draft for the Vikings. Nothing that really steps out at me right there. Bears, Lamar, decent middle linebacker, nothing special in the first. Could have did a little better right there. Kind of the same thing with this free safety in the second. Run stopping DN in the third, but he's only 78 strength. Not the greatest of drafts right there. I do want to see this 7th round guy though, because I know that's a good value. Quick development, decent power back. Okay. That's probably a C minus though. I think he underachieved in those first couple of picks right there. There were better guys on the board. I see Blake's comment about the baby Raiders. I hear you, man. Good job. Bengals. Bengals had a pretty good draft. Greedy Williams, good pick at 7. Devin White, very good pick at 21. And even in real life, he's a beast. And that's reflected in those ratings right there. Pocahontas, storyline player. I think he was quick development. Good value, top of the second. And then you go through the rest of it. Thornhill had some good physical traits in the 7th round. I thought about him, but I took the other guy. But this is a good draft. This is I'd say this is A minus right here. Top 3 picks were pretty good. Didn't give him the A. Oh, Pocahontas was superstar. Oh, that's the one I gave on the show. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. But that's an A minus draft. For the Bengals right there. Only thing that kept it from being an A was these mid-round picks. They kind of fell off a little bit, but that's just being nitpicky. A minus. Bills didn't have many picks. I think the guard, Bars can develop into a player with some work. Gaskin's just a guy. Spears doesn't really move me with being a speed rusher, only 77 speed. That's a C. He didn't have much to work with. I won't be too hard on him. Broncos, welcome back. God, what's his first name? I know it's A. Page. God almighty. I forgot his first name, but he used to be the Colts in the previous Madden. Always was a good player. Glad to have him back in here as the Broncos. Obviously, he didn't get the chance to scout too much, but he gave it the old college try, and he didn't do too terrible. I know he said he picked the wrong guy on his draft board here with Turpin in the first, so that's going to ding him a little bit on the grade. But at least he's fast. You can still use him. Jones in the second I thought was all right. Williams in the third, he can be a pretty good back with those ratings. But then the rest of it, I think he left right after the 3rd round. So I'll give him a C minus. I won't hang him too much with that first pick because he's still useful. The Browns, Mango's a good player, good storyline. He had the bloodline with his father playing in the NFL. Anytime you get that, it's going to be a pretty good storyline. Lance, storyline tight end. His storyline was pretty straightforward. I didn't try to fool you. He was pretty much the only star tight end in this draft, out of the draft anyway. He's going to be a good all-around player in the league. And then the rest of it, and got some decent depth guys right here to fill in for injuries. Nothing else really in the late rounds to move me too much. Although that strong safety Woods, is a decent guy for the 7th round. So the strength of these first two guys, I'm gonna give that a B. Yeah, I say that's a solid B draft, solid B. Buccaneers, you got a right tackle that can play right now. That's good. Snell's a good overall running back in the mold that he likes. He likes the power backs. That was a good get for his scheme. Williams in the third's a good value at the D tackle spot. 77 overall. I like that. The center can develop into a good player in the third also. That's good. But then the rest of it, Morgan in the 6th. That's not bad. 91 speed and acceleration. Not bad value. I'll give him like everyone else, I give him a solid B. Solid B right there for the Bucks as he filled needs and got good value in the 3rd. And then right here in the 6th. I like that. It's a good job overall. Cody's Cardinals. Harry, some guys said he could have picked another receiver, but, he's got a good size speed combination right here. When you're 6'3", star development with, 92, 91, speed and acceleration, and then good catching traits, and then you look at all the traits that he has right there. That's a pretty good, combination right there. Bucks, I see your comment. Like I said before, I haven't had a chance to look at all the picks in detail. So, once I can see that, I'll give you credit, but I can't look at everyone. Baker, for his second first round pick, is a very good pick. To pair with Patrick Peterson out there, he can play the number 2 corner. Fant was the tight end that I wanted, but he took him a couple picks before me. I thought he's going to be a very good player. Anderson in the 4th, 76 overall, very good value right there. Christmas in the 5th, you look at that. This is a deep D tackle class, and you got one of the better ones in the 5th right there. This is a good draft overall. I'm gonna give this probably a This is probably an A minus just because of where he got guys and the value of them. I like that a lot. Chargers was a CPU draft, but Deontay hopefully will be back with us some point this week, I'm hoping. And we'll see what happens with him. But he didn't take any storyline guys, but, I think he got some guys to fill some holes on that roster. The Chiefs, I know he was kept asking who, we was picking, but we don't have the ability to go back and look at the picks anymore. So, nothing personal, we just couldn't tell you. But, Lawrence in the 2nd, obviously good D tackle, good job there. And then the rest of it, fill some depth spots that was needed. The Colts, didn't pick to the 3rd round. You got a center, you can work with 82 strength. He might develop into a player. The corner, it depends on the rest of his stats right there. He can be decent. Then the rest of these just kind of, doing the best you can. That's probably I'll give him a C because of the lower picks. Cowboys, I thought had some good picks here. Hakeem Fisher, anytime a DN finishes in the Heisman voting, guys, that should be a key to tell you they're going to be a good player. And Hakeem had the good leadership storyline in the Senior Bowl. He finished 3rd in the Heisman voting as he's a DN. DNs don't normally finish 3rd in the Heisman voting, so that should tell you, he was going to be special, and he was. I got him at 20, which is good. The left guard, probably could have did a little better in the 2nd. But the middle linebacker has some good physical traits. You can user him. Receiver's not bad in the 3rd. I like him. Going through the rest of it. I think Zacchaeus in the 6th was a good get. He's got good physical traits in the slot. You can use him a good bit. And Scarlett, the running back, was pretty good also. So I would give this draft B plus. I think is a good fit for him. The Dolphins, Locke is going to be a good quarterback in the first. Davis, deep D tackle class, got him in the second. That's good. Bugs in the third, good value from where you got him in late third. Good value with L.J. Scott. Good power back. I know he likes to run the ball. I think this is more of a possession tall guy in Williams, and the rest of it is, pretty much depth. So it's a solid B draft right there. It's a good job for where you were picking at Dolphins. Eagles, I believe he had his draft board set. Steele right here with McMillan. McMillan is superstar development. And I'll show him to you. He was a storyline guy. He was the twin at North Carolina that dominated in his bowl game, but people thought he dominated because of younger competition. So I made him superstar, but he's older. He's 24. So, Lee was talking about receivers having low jump ratings. This guy had a 94 jump rating. So this is one of the young guys, and you see all the traits that he has. He's very, very well developed because he's older, but he's dominating his competition. That's why he's got the superstar trait. He's going to be a really, really good player. But the rest of this draft, was CPU, so nothing special on it. But McMillan, that was a good get in the second round. Oh, you guys. Falcons. Will Grier, good player, good quarterback. He already said it's going to be the Will Grier era that Matt Ryan's not playing anymore. Polo Thomas, I need to know why the hell y'all let this guy get to the mid-second round, and I got to deal with this fucker for the rest of Madden. All right, well, first off, he's normal, and that's because of his storyline where he was talking about, playing on the next level and NFL and, the deal with Polo and all that. That could have went one or the two ways. It could have went up, to a superstar, but, I knocked it down to normal. But you look at these ratings, and then you look at traits. 94, 96, 94 speed, acceleration, and agility. Just ridiculous. 89 elusiveness. 85 juke, 83 spin. And then he's got the carry, 89 already. Not very strong, 57 strength, and he's not going to run anyone over at 49 trucking. And then 65 break tackle, he's not going to do anything with that. But what he is, and he's elite in what he is. And then you see the secondary traits. You saw he wanted to display all of his game in his storyline. That's the 75 catching, and then the routes are pretty good for a running back. We can also use him in kick returns. He's not very tough. But he's a hell of a player, and now he's gonna be a damn headache for us. But then the rest of the draft was nothing special, but on the strength of those first two picks, that's gonna be a B plus draft for the Falcons, because I know he set his board. 49ers didn't have a pick till the fourth, but I think he did a good job with what he did. Miller is a good value in the fourth, as well as Tillery at the D tackle spot. McSorley has a strong arm, good, decent, speed and acceleration, will be a good backup quarterback for years. May even develop into a starter. Then the rest of it wasn't anything too special, but I'm gonna give him a B minus for the effort where he was picking at. And guys, I see your comments about the guys that have quick development and all that. Like I said, I hadn't had a chance to dig into it. Once we update Daddy Leagues, I'll put out there who was all the developments and everything, and that way your guys will be recognized. So just hang in there. Giants, Thompson, with that physical traits in the first round was a good pick. Farrell at the top of the second was a steal. The strength, speed, and acceleration combination at the end I thought was very good. Then the rest of it wasn't, anything too special, from what I'm seeing here, but the top two picks I thought were good. I give him a solid B for that. And I know he wasn't here the whole time. Jaguars, oh my lord. Well, Ed Oliver was an absolute beast. There was no hiding that. And same thing with Nick Bosa. The traits told you that, and then they got the developments on top of that. Harris is a good back in the second. The D tackle draft class was deep once again. Good value late second. Abram, I thought, is a good, strong safety with the physical traits that he possesses right there. McMillan was a storyline quarterback. Pretty good player. He was not going to be great, but you can see he's going to develop. Just kind of like in the mold of Karingo is how I made him, except without the development. So, he's going to be a good player. I don't know if he'll play there, but he'll be a good player. And then the rest of it kind of fell off like the rest of us, but obviously with the strength of these first, 6 picks, this is the top class, A+ draft here for the Jaguars. The Jets, I thought it was a little early to go, Alexis, but he was storyline and he was a very good pulling player. He gave him quick development. You see his numbers right there. He's a good offensive lineman, but I didn't think he was a top 6 offensive lineman. But you see his speed and acceleration and then impact blocking. He's going to be a very good puller. And you remember in his storyline, that's what he talked about. So if he's going to, run up a lot of plays that pull, Alexis will be able to get out there, lead the way, and probably lay some nasty blocks once he gets out there and gets on people. Fortified it with Edwards, which was a good pick. First 2 picks, O-lineman, 2 good picks. Sheffield, very good physical corner, nice speed, acceleration, and agility. This guy right here is going to be a decent offensive lineman once you get some work put into him. Walker's not a bad linebacker, top of the 3rd. That corner can develop into something and help you probably in the slot, Julian Love. And then the rest of it, I think Hill in the 6th was a good value too. So this is a pretty good draft. I'm going to give this that's probably a B+. Maybe it's close to an A-. It's on that edge right there. That was a good job. The Lions, Herbert, very good quarterback, obviously in college football now in Oregon. You hear about him being a top pick. He's a superstar development guy. Good pick right there. That's a good lineman right there. And Ben Schwal, I don't know how the hell you say that. Free safety, top of the 3rd, not bad value right there. Davidson, power rusher. Little strength should be a little higher on him, but not bad. Decent D tackle in the 5th, not bad. Strong safety, you can work with him. And then Patrick is okay, but that's gonna be that's a B+ draft. I like the value you got in the first 3 picks right there, and being a superstar quarterback, that's gonna be the rest of Madden for you. And then finally the Packers, Marquise Brown, very good pick. Obviously you've seen him in Oklahoma in real life making big plays. That's reflected in his ratings right there. I think this is the guy that they were saying Cody should have picked, because I think he was right after Cody. This guy's a dynamic deep threat guy, and he's gonna make a lot of big plays in Green Bay, I guess, with Jameis. Left tackles, he can play right now. He has an immediate need. He needed him. Patterson can be a good backup to Jameis, and he might develop into something down the road. Good vertical tight end and Nauta right there. Although I think he cut him because I don't see his salary and bonus. I would have held on to him. Wingard at strong safety. Needs a little more speed and acceleration. And then Throckmorton. What a name. He'll probably be on the practice squad with 81 strength. But overall, because of the strength of the first 2 picks, I'd say that's first 3 picks. I'd say that's give him a B. I'll be lenient. All right, so this ends the draft show. Now remember, when we advance to preseason, you can sign one guy in free agency besides kickers and punters. If you sign more than one guy in free agency besides, I'm going to ask you to release him, okay? It's to prevent free agent hoarding. That's for the entire preseason. So once we advance to the regular season, tomorrow at midnight Eastern time, free agency will be open for everybody. Okay, but for right now, only you sign one guy beside a kicker and punter, and we will check transactions. And if you don't release the guy, we will edit him to make him terrible, and then you'll release him anyway. All right, and then we'll go back and fix him. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Good draft. Appreciate everybody's participation. And once again, if you earned upgrades, I heard my phone going off, so I know y'all DM'd me about your damn upgrades. Just send those over, and I'll get those done as soon as possible. All right. Thanks for watching.